Can you imagine the library as big as a city, but under the desert? Well, it was there, in Timbuktu, a long time ago. This place used to be a cradle of genius, where scientists and philosophers could share their knowledge freely. There was a period of time when the world was not looking at Africa through a colonial prism. Timbuktu used to be in the heart of intellectualism in Africa, the place where knowledge flowed like sand from a dune. There were almost 700,000 of manuscripts that covered nearly all fields of science. But why would someone dig this treasure of knowledge under the desert? There might be several reasons for doing that. It could be political instability, foreign intervention, or even ignorance. Anyway, only a small percentage of these ancient manuscripts survive to this day. It requires a lot of effort to save knowledge stored in paper, but it is worth saving the pearls of wisdom. However, there is a secret hiding under the desert sand that has not been discovered yet. Listen closely, and you will hear it soon. Imagine you are waking up in a city where the call of prayer echoes through the streets and the pursuit of knowledge begins with the sunrise. The city of Timbuktu is a land of scholars and ideas. People are gathering in there from distant lands, their faces etched with the lines of travel. They come to share and to gain knowledge which is more valuable than the gold at that times. Sankore Mosque is the home to many scholars who hold conferences in its silence corridors. The city is not famous for its gold or its salt. It was famous with the wisdom of its people. These people are well educated in astronomy, medicine, and poetry. Can you see them? These brilliant scholars robed in flowing garments, with scrolls in their hand. This is the era of Timbuktu, a time when libraries are more important than swords, and when scholars craving for knowledge to expand their horizons. But this is not an ancient TED Talk. No, it was a culture boom. Here, in these streets covered with dust, the world has gathered together, creating a unique mix of languages from market traders, where Arabic mixes with Manding and Tuareg. They were not trading only goods such as salt and spices, but also the ancient wisdom was exchanged. Take a look at these manuscripts, beautifully painted with intricate patterns telling about astronomy or ancient philosophy. Can you see the merchant traders who have gathered for bargains, but also for sharing their ideas and knowledge with each other? Observe the scientists who are holding public debates and lectures in Timbuktu, engaging with the crowd. It was a place where ideas were shared, fought, and killed in the Sahara's sun. The city did not only whisper its secrets to the desert winds, but it loudly declared them to the world. However, some troubles are coming, as dark clouds are approaching Timbuktu, bringing unwanted attention. There are people who want to silence books, turning them to ashes. But we will talk about it later, as for now, enjoy the ancient wisdom and the cultural boom in Timbuktu. Imagine rooms full of students, their eyes shine like pearls, their heads look like bowed, as they pray to invisible gods. A scroll unfurling in front of eager eyes, opening up worlds of imagination, a place where light and shadow have an eternal discussion. The discussions themselves spill out into the room, a mixture of mathematics and magic, as humanity celebrates its wealth, its diversity. Hear the mumble of conversation running through the chambers as the scholars talk from faraway places, of remedies, of philosophy, of ways of thinking as old as thought itself. See the teachers, their voices taking on a new life as they breathe into these ancient words, as they write old scrolls. Each painstaking brushstroke of ink on parchment lovingly crafted by steady hands. Every word holds the secrets of the universe in their delicate, gracious forms. Two subjects, poetry and medicine, as different as they are deep, entwined in conspiratorial closeness. These people are not just living, they are growing, blooming with all the light they can consume. But the scholars of Timbuktu lived in quiet and modest plenty. They don't know of jewels or gold, but humanity's most precious resource, knowledge, is found right here in this humble gathering. And the danger is never far away, coiled at the edges like a python waiting to strike. Ah, but all the best stories have darkness in it. Even the brightest minds have had to brave the storm. Oh, Timbuktu, its glow was smothered by jealousy from far away. At that time, wars were started. Rumors of an invasion spread like a fire on the wind. Armies start marching, their drums beating loudly in the desert. They came for the richness, for the power, for control, for treasures that could not be gotten from mines. The words, which are written by scholars, contain something greater than gold, something that the commanders would kill to possess. And so the scholars did not realize that what they wrote next would lead to an invasion of Timbuktu. The unseen enemy comes closer with every step, their blades ready. They came to claim Timbuktu. They come for the diamond buried within the sand. But knowledge must be protected. So what now? Bury the wisdom, hide it deep within the earth, where it will be safe from those who would cast it away. So what can you do when a storm's eyes are on your heritage? The best you can do is hide it. Imagine a feverish dance of preservation. Scholars' hands desperately securing manuscripts, swaddling them like newborns to conceal their treasures to the sand. Their legacy concealed deep within the depths of the desert. These artifacts of faith and knowledge are hidden, their presence withheld from prying eyes. As soldiers come near, scholars speed up every single one of their steps. Their hearts pound with the weight of sacred mission. These guardians risk everything for a legacy that may never see the daylight again. And an ominous question haunted their actions. Will their legacy ever be brought to light from that secret tomb? Thus, the mind invaders set out to conquer not the city of Timbuktu, but that city itself, its very soul, hidden deep within the desert sands. Gone, like whispers swallowed by the creeping night. The library was gone, engulfed by the night. Can you imagine a place that was once so lively and full of intellectuals? The place where a lot of knowledge thrived is now silent due to the absence of those intellectuals. Dust chokes rooms, where once laughter of scholars rang. The absence is its own ghostly presence of the wisdom that was lost by the invasion. Everything was covered and buried by the dust of those names that no one knows. The people who searched for the lands found nothing as the knowledge slipped through their blundering fingers. However, the word gone is far too early, since the pieces of ancient manuscripts tend to reveal their secrets beneath the pressure of sand. So, was it a victory or defeat for the ancient scholars? The answer depends on how you look at it. However, one thing is certain, that the sands will keep whispering till you listen. Our story isn't written in ash yet. We, right now, are just at the beginning. So we fast forward through chapters and ages to meet the next group of persevering adventurers. Expect Indiana Jones, but with archaeologists equipped with not whips, but imaginations burning bright. They are the ones who would find truth in the darkness, who took up the call to dig and delve into the dust of time, and in doing so began their own quest for rediscovery. But don't think it's all glam and glory. No. Where to even start unearthing a city buried by time? Each scoop of dirt unveiled secrets, as pulses quickened with each discovery, ribbed spines and fragile ink finally inhaling fresh desert air once more. Hidden voices stirred, emerging from the pages, shocked to life. And so, piece by piece, the whispers grow. Louder now, not just heard but felt. Timbuktu wasn't gone, it was merely waiting for recognition. Those who had preserved it, well, they'd danced this dance before. Unspool the centuries, feel their thin, brittle breath across your palms, as though time itself were being leafed by hand, each delicate fiber conducting a quiet voltage for minds that worked while much of the world seemed to dim. The pages quiver, lines laid down with exacting care carry the pulse of knowledge long lived, not as relics abandoned to silence, but as a chorus held on one unwavering note, waiting, patiently, for attentive ears. Here, science is written while much of the earth stumbled in shadow. Poetry sketches life in strokes quick and ardent. Medicine records understandings and quiet remedies that time tried to fog and hide. These words were not merely save, they were aim, to teach, to rouse. And consider the minds from which they came, the scholars of Timbuktu who trusted the soft-spoken certainties of their learning. Where, in today's account, do we set their names? The books do not simply speak, they thunder. They declare what is too often misremembered. Africa was not sleeping through history, it was composing it. This is no legacy of dust and cobwebs. Not at all. The parchments breathe. With each page turned, a realization opens like a window in a sunlit wall. Timbuktu's light, once muted, flares again. Let's pause. What chafes isn't just vanity. It's the machinery that lets victors varnish the past until doubt disappears, and then they call the gloss wisdom while the grit, the contradictions, the other bearings, slides away like sand in a glass. Not truth. People talk about Africa as if it slept. Timbuktu answers otherwise. There was no academic slumber here, only a long, vigilant attention, a discipline that kept its ink dry and its questions alive when other spotlights drifted elsewhere. Yes, European libraries glimmered, mahogany, gilt, the ceremony of knowledge. yet set that shine beside another, quieter truth, and the contrast becomes instructive, not adversarial. African histories are not footnotes in someone else's book. Timbuktu's whispers refuse the tidy shapes imposed by those still waltzing to a dated tune. Say it with care and conviction. The received narratives are flawed. Ignorance is not bliss, it is blindness. What's needed is not breathless celebration, but reclamation, rightful naming, rightful placement, where voices were muted and memory was trimmed to fit a smaller frame. Timbuktu wasn't forgotten, it was preparing, conserving, biding its hour. And yes, that is a tale worth retelling. Look there. Modern guardians do not wield blades. They restore legacy with scanners and code and stubborn patience, one fragile leaf at a time. Young scholars rise. African hearts beat strong. They peer through lenses. They laugh at sheer discovery. Laptops open, hands steady. They work through night and dust and doubt and heat and hope and the quiet courage of purpose. They do not stop. They wrestle with text. They reveal rather than conceal. They digitize pages. Breath returns to paper. A new era dawns. The African past meets technology. No relic sealed in glass. No distant hush. These guardians decode. Page by page, they stitch a continent's memory back together. Silence yields. Voices once exiled return. They preserve Timbuktu's truth for readers not yet born, for classrooms not yet raised. Labs hum, servers glow. Memory finds a second life in light. You can feel the charge, almost electric. Reclamation begins. Africa's intellectual splendor returns. A forgotten symphony lifts. Empowerment breathes again. Mandela called education a powerful weapon. Here stands the proof. Old wisdom in one hand, new tools in the other. Destiny is no longer observed. It is shaped, crafted. Timbuktu breathes again. Sunlight edges across mud walls and new paint. Footsteps answer old footsteps. History moves with the day. Lanes once hushed now ring with laughter. Quick, bright. Books pass from hand to hand. Ideas travel farther. Not only bricks, not only roads. The community builds a mindscape, patient, shared, enduring. This is no soft nostalgia. It is motion. It gathers force. The city stands ankle-deep in its own past. It faces forward. Knowledge circulates like water. It tests paths. It corrects course. Failures teach. Triumphs do too. Resilience is not a slogan here. It is practice, daily. Blossoms open, shadows remain. They give contrast. They shape the light. Walk a step with it. Feel the earth shift. Past and future keep time. Listen. There is music in the air. Low, steady. That pulse is Timbuktu's living soul. And now, this is not only Timbuktu's story. It is a global current moving through connected classrooms, a hum that gathers, then swells. The city writes, the world reads, echoes travel. Subtle at first, then clear. Boardrooms listen from Addis Ababa to Chicago. Minds drink from an old well. The source is African. Ideas cross every border. Threads meet. A tapestry forms through collaboration, not conquest. Imagine schools adopting preserved insights, curriculum rooted in living and locale. Old narratives are questioned. The myth of a sleeping continent dissolves. Timbuktu breaks that mirage. What was sidelined steps into the light. Amplified. History breathes. It refuses confinement. It pushes past walls. Those walls were raised by narrow pens. Timbuktu's whisper endures. Not mere revival. Renewal for us all. Amid this rebirth live the children of Timbuktu, heirs to an old discourse. Their eyes hold wonder. Curiosity catches like fire. Imagine it. Small figures among sun-softened walls. Screens glow in their hands. Signals cross the desert, then centuries. Ancestors answer in script. Ink curves with patient breath. They preserve old souls. Guardians of memory. They read the winding letters. Stories open. Ageless mysteries gather, bound by ink and time. This is more than recall. It forges an empowered lineage. Young minds learn to navigate a vast tapestry of knowledge. Silence settles, laughter breaks it. A modest holiness, near sacred. They share space, they trade questions, they kindle change. A generation stands sure of itself, not a blank slate, a living story. Timbuktu does not wait for accolades. It moves within their dreams. It lives in their days. Seen, now, seen anew. So the road nears its edge, or it opens again. Here the desert meets the horizon. Here lies the legacy of Timbuktu. Not erased by time, not dismissed by ignorance, set deep in the earth's resilient memory. What do we carry from this austere oasis? An oasis of old wisdom, subtle, enduring. Timbuktu teaches quiet strength. Resilience once hidden by shadow now stands in the light. Each whispering grain holds a trace of civilization. Sparks wait in the sand. Its story is emergence. Africa's heart beats. It shapes a future. Scholars return. Custodians of memory. They breathe life into layered narratives. The meaning is clear. You have heard it. True knowledge does not die. It rests beneath the surface. It waits for its hour. Then it rises. Again. Cycle unbroken. Waiting. Just waiting.